Hey everybody, and happy Maca Monday. So, if you guys know and you've been keeping up and everything like that, then you'll know that we have been doing Pushin Pawns with me, especially every Monday and every Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. And with that being said, I did miss last Friday, but I do have a reason. So, so we were supposed to have a special guest on Friday. However, our guest had some stuff going on, so she wasn't able to make it. And then that kind of just threw me off a little bit because our times was going to change. I don't know. It was just a whole lot of. But we are here today, and we're going to pick back up right where we left off. I think that's how you say it. Um, but yeah, sorry about the inconvenience, you guys. And yeah, so like I said, we're gonna pick back up right where we left off. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Like y'all know the little saying or whatever. Um, Let me see. Also, so we will okay, so and then that's another thing too. So with our guests, if you guys remember, we did have Zaria as a guest. I want to say like 2 to 3 weeks ago, something like that. And so we will be having Zaria as a special guest every Friday. But the only thing with that is it's going to be every Friday from 4:30 to 5:30. And like you guys know, we do every Monday and Friday at 7 o'clock. And so hers is going to be at 4:30 to 5:30. And so if you guys want both, like if you want me and Zaria and then me personally, you guys can comment that. You guys can let me know, or whatever the case may be. For the first couple weeks, I probably most likely am going to do both me and Zaria's just so that I can continue to have that one-on-one with you guys. But, if it's more convenient for you guys to tune in at, say, 4:30 when I do have Zaria, then we'll do that. And then if not, then we'll just, keep going with both. But yeah, so that's enough of pretty much, I guess, just catching up. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And if you guys, once again, have been, with us for a little minute, then you would know um, that we have been going over some like different chess tactics and stuff like that. And I did have a comment I don't know when it was, a little minute ago, and somebody asked what platform we're using, and this is chess.com, just so that you guys are, you know, just in case you guys wanted to play me on it or anything like that. So the lessons that we learn on chess.com, they all come with a video. So I'm going to read what the I guess commenter you can refer to him as. We're gonna see what he says, and then we're gonna watch the video, and then we're gonna go through the challenges. And like I said, I've never so I do know how to play chess, but I've never really learned these techniques and stuff like that. So I'm kind of learning these with you guys. So please bear with me if I do make the wrong move or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it, and then we'll get started. So he says. At beginner levels, games are frequently won and lost with the four-move checkmate, most commonly played with 1 e4 to e5, 2 queen to h5, and the knight to c6. Third move is bishop to c4 with queen capturing on f7, which should be checkmate on the next move. It's very important to defend your weakest point from checkmate. That's the f7 pawn for black and the f2 pawn for white. As long as you're careful to block opposing pieces with wait, as long as you're careful to block opposing pieces from attacking that square, you can reach a good position. Now, if you guys seen, I'm pretty sure I read those correctly as far as the chess notation. And so that's once again, I'm just, kind of tying everything back together so that you guys can see the importance of the files and ranks, which is the first and last name of the square, also known as the letters and numbers. So yeah, just, wanted to show you guys that. But let's go ahead and let this play. And as you guys know, and if you didn't know, now you know, I'm going to put myself on mute and stop my camera so that it can be, full screen. And then you guys can watch it. And I will be back once the video is over. Okay, y'all. I don't know. Something is telling me that I didn't share my screen. Like, I mean, not my screen. I didn't share my sound. So I'm gonna stop screen sharing. I don't know. I don't know if I did, and if I did, I'm sorry, y'all. But I really feel like I did not share my audio. So I'm gonna start the video over. My bad, y'all. But we was only like 21 seconds in, so Don't be too upset with me. But okay, let me go ahead and put myself back on mute.
Some people with a little experience in chess may have heard of the famous four-move checkmate. For a beginner, this can sound both exciting and scary. Who wouldn't want to win in 4 moves? And of course, nobody wants to lose in 4 moves. Luckily, the four-move checkmate is only dangerous in name. If you know what you're doing, that is. The four-move checkmate is a fast attack that develops some pieces very quickly toward the center and the enemy king. White typically opens the game with e4, controlling the center and opening lines for the light square bishop and queen. Black responds with e5, controlling the center and opening up lines. And after bishop to c4, white quickly brings the bishop to an active diagonal, controlling the center and pointing at the weak f7 square. Notice the f7 square is only protected by black's king. Black typically plays knight to c6, making a sensible developing move, or sometimes will play bishop to c5. In either case, white has the option of the aggressive queen to h5, joining the bishop in the attack against the key f7 square. If black isn't careful, white will deliver checkmate on the very next move. Knight f6 is a very common mistake. Black moves the knight toward the center and threatens to win the queen. What could possibly be wrong with this move? Unfortunately, it forces the white queen to move exactly where it wanted to go, the f7 square, and deliver checkmate. You'll notice that the black king has nowhere to run. Black also can't block the check as the queen is literally touching the king. Notice black has no piece to capture the queen, and the king cannot capture the queen because then the light square bishop would capture the king, and that's not allowed. This is the four-move checkmate. Now let's go back and see how black could have avoided this unfortunate end to the game. After the moves e4, e5, bishop c4, knight c6, and queen h5, black must block the f7 square. The best way to do this is by playing g6. It attacks the queen, and it prevents the queen from capturing f7. White retreats the queen, but don't celebrate too early. The white queen refocuses its attack on the f7 square, threatening checkmate on the very next turn. Black can once again block the queen's path to the f7 square and develop a piece at the same time with knight f6. Notice if white tried to capture the knight, black would recapture and win the queen. At this point, black is safe and white has wasted some time running around with the queen. Finally, we have one more aggressive idea to be prepared for when our opponent tries to win the game with the four-move checkmate. After e4, e5, white does not have to play bishop to c4 on the next turn. White could play the more aggressive queen h5. White threatens the weakened f7 square and threatens to win the e5 pawn with check. Remember, it's very important to defend the e5 pawn first and only then block the queen's attack on the f7 square. The best move for black is knight c6, developing a piece toward the center and protecting the e5 pawn. After bishop to c4, white's bishop joins the attack on the f7 square. Do you remember how black can best block the f7 square and attack the queen? That's right, g6. White sets up another checkmate with queen f3, threatening to take on f7. Do you remember how to block the second checkmate attack? That's right, knight to f6. Now that you've learned what the four-move checkmate is, it's time to see what you've learned.
Okay, so as I promised, once the video is over, I will come back to the screen. Now, if you guys were here with us, like maybe like the first or second video, or not video, well, I guess video, live, whatever you guys want to call it, then you guys would know I did show you guys this, but then I like this video too because it went more in depth as far as, how to protect, and then it showed more ways that the queen can still come, after that certain square. So, sorry. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the challenges to either defend or go ahead and attack that piece or that square, whatever. So yeah. So now it says, okay, black to move. So it's black's move. White's queen rushes into action, attacking black's pawn on e5, which is right there. Okay. Can you develop a knight toward the center and protect that pawn? Okay, so Okay. And you guys already know when and I'm sorry, I'm trying to get better at this. But when I'm thinking about something or looking at a specific move or potential move or whatever, I might squint my eyes and get really quiet real fast. That's just me thinking. So sorry about that. But let's see here. So knights do move in 7 or L shapes. So my first guess would be to be right there. Now I did look at the knight on G8. However, nowhere that I move necessarily is going to protect that piece. So yeah, rook to C6 is, I mean, not rook, sorry, knight to C6 is correct. Excellent job. Black develops a knight to an excellent square and protects the pawn. Okay, black to move. White move the bishop to c4, which is right here. Okay, joining the queen's attack on f7, which is once again right there. How can black attack the white queen and block the queen from capturing the f7 pawn? Okay, so I'm attacking and blocking the queen from that square. Okay. Let's see here. So I'm assuming just a simple pawn. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So pawn to g6 is correct. Fantastic. Black attacks the queen with the pawn and blocks the queen from capturing f7. And that's the thing too. That's another thing that I'm starting to notice with playing chess is because pawns are I guess the weakest. Well, yeah, they are the weakest piece. So since pawns are the weakest piece, the most kind of boring to a certain extent, but they do have, a little power to them. You tend to just kind of brush them to the side and not really think about them. But me personally, as I've continued on with these challenges and these, lessons or whatever, I have noticed pawns are, just as valuable as pretty much any other piece in the game. So even, a small move just like that with moving the pawn closer to the queen is still protecting the queen while also threatening the queen. So yeah. Anyway, so white moves the queen to safety, but is also threatening the checkmate on f7 once again. How can you develop a piece and block the queen from delivering checkmate on f7? So how can you develop a piece and block the queen? So we're not attacking, just blocking the queen from attacking this square on f7 right here. Personally, I'm assuming, I don't know though. The first, well, yeah. Okay, yeah. So I was thinking about moving there, obviously. And at first I was like, I don't really know because let's say if the queen does take that piece, but then, there's still a line of defense simply because the queen is still right here. So the knight to f6 is correct. Great job. Black develops the knight toward the center and blocks the white queen from delivering checkmate on f7. Okay. Black to move. Can you develop a knight toward the center and protect the e5 pawn? So the e5 pawn right here, and can you develop a knight toward the center to protect that pawn? Now, and the thing is too, when you're looking for pieces to protect other pieces, especially with knights, you have to think about the way that they move specifically, And so with the movement in 7 or L shape, you have to think first, am I able to move to this square to protect another piece on, I don't know. And that's the thing with chess too. You always want to back up defend your pieces, have a line of defense always, really. And that can really just be the deciding factor between making or breaking your game. So yeah, let's get back into this. So the knight to c6 is correct. Great job. You moved the knight toward the center and added protection to the e5 pawn. White brings the queen to h5, planning on delivering checkmate on f7. How can you attack the queen and defend against checkmate? So once again, we are attacking the queen while defending against checkmate. So it's trying to come to this f7 pawn right here. And my first guess is to move this pawn again. But I don't think that it would have me do that. But but I don't know. Let me see. Oh, okay. So excellent. Black attacks the queen and blocks checkmate. All right. Well, easy enough. Black to move. Can you develop a knight towards the center? Let me stop reading so fast. And like y'all know, I do read, talk, think, all of that fast. So I'm trying to slow it down. And sometimes it does take me a minute to catch myself because sometimes like I'll really just be rambling, running, like just talking super fast. but then I'll hear myself and be like, okay, yeah, let me slow it down a little bit. Okay, so black to move. Can you develop a knight toward the center and threaten to capture white's pawn on e4? So e4, which the pawn is right here. Can you develop a knight toward the center and threaten to capture that pawn? All right, so the first move that I see is moving the pawn. I mean, the knight. I'm sorry, y'all. Moving the knight to f6. Great job. The knight develops toward the center and threatens the unprotected pawn on e4. White carelessly brings out the queen, dreaming of a checkmate on f7. Can you find black's best defense? Okay. Once again, y'all. Oh, okay. So, lesson complete. Oh, well, actually, no, I skipped a part. You got it. Black wins, white's queen. Lesson complete. You're ready for your next lesson. Now, that's the thing too. See, as y'all seen, I kind of got ahead of myself, but then I, realized like, okay, I'm able to take that queen. So you always want to look at pretty much all of your pieces before moving your piece. Because me personally, I've lost some pretty valuable pieces to like my next steps by not paying attention to, where their positioning was. But we have reached another video because we did finish the last challenge. So, per usual, I'm going to read the comment, put myself on mute, and then we're going to watch the video together, and then I'll come back. So, the comment says, because the king can move into check, it is often possible to checkmate by placing a queen next to the opponent's king and having the queen defend. Hold on. Because the king can't move into check, it is often possible to checkmate by placing a queen next to the opponent's king and having the queen defended by another one of your pieces. If the king can't move away and no other piece can capture your queen, then you'll have a checkmate. Okay. So, gonna go ahead and remove myself once again and then put myself on mute, and I will be back once the video is over.
In the four-move checkmate lesson, we learned a new concept where black was checkmated by the white queen, and black couldn't capture the queen with the king because the queen was protected by the bishop on c4, like this. A king can never put itself in check, even when capturing. So many times when you checkmate, it's done by one piece who is checking and one piece that is protecting and assisting the other piece. Let's see some examples of assisted checkmates. In this position, white can deliver checkmate by using the queen to put the king in check with the assistance of the pawn protecting the queen. Can you see the mate in one? If you found queen g7 checkmate, great job. The queen attacks the king, and the king cannot escape the check because the queen covers all of the king's escape squares and the pawn protects the queen, meaning the black king cannot capture the queen. It's checkmate. Game over. Let's look at another example. In this position, black's king does not have any legal squares. Notice that both the white knight and queen join together on the g8 square, right next to the king. White can deliver a check with the queen that is assisted by the knight on e7 with queen g8, checkmate. Now that you've learned how pieces assist each other in delivering checkmate, it's your turn to practice assisted checkmates.
Okay, so let me go ahead and put myself back here. Okay, sorry, I was just playing around with the settings a little bit, seeing which one I liked better. But, okay, so, as you guys seen, that was assisted checkmates. And like I said, as you guys seen in the video as well, it is pretty much imperative to have your pieces protected. Because most of those checkmates wouldn't have been checkmates if those pieces weren't protected. So it is very important to always protect your pieces regardless of how they're protected, because as you've seen in one of the examples, the queen was protected by a pawn and was still able to get that checkmate. So it doesn't necessarily matter which piece you have protected as long as it serves its purpose. So assisted checkmates. White to move. Can you combine the forces of the queen and bishop to deliver checkmate in one move? Okay. Based. Okay. I was going to say, based on the positioning and everything, one piece needs to be captured. Now, personally, okay, sorry. Y'all seen, I'm trying to think. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I knew it was one of them, but I had to see. But, okay, if the king captures the bishop on g7, the queen is still right there to protect it and capture it. And if it moves, nice try. This move does not capture a pawn and attacks the black rook. Oh, it does capture a pawn, but if you capture the pawn with the more peaceful. Okay, I still don't necessarily see how it's not. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, great job. The queen checks the king, and covers its escape squares while the bishop protects the king, or the queen. Sorry. Okay, can you combine the powers of the rook and deliver? And oh my gosh, can you combine the powers of the rook and knight to deliver checkmate on the next move? All right, so let me see with this one. Um, um. Sorry, y'all. Once I'm look, okay, so let me I guess think out loud. So if I move my rook on h7 to h8, it would obviously be forced to either move down or diagonally to the 7th rank. So if it moves to a7, then it's putting itself into checkmate using this knight. However, if it moves to b7, then it would be able to attack that knight. Sorry, I'm trying to think. Okay, because then if I move my knight to I'm tempted to use a hand. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna go ahead and use a hand. Let's see. Okay, so the rook and knight can both move to the square in front of the king. Move the piece that delivers checkmate. Okay. Okay. Great job. The rook checks the king, and the knight protects the rook, and the black kings escape on b8. All right. Black is threatening queen capturing on g2, which is right there. On the next move, but it is white to play. Can you checkmate black's king before it is too late? All right, let's see. So it's white's move. Sorry. So it's white's move, and with that being said, let me see. So okay, if I move my queen to, let me see here. If I move my if I move my queen to the B file right here, let's see. I'm trying to think. Okay, because then it wouldn't be able to move. Actually, it will be able to capture me though. Can you checkmate black's king? Maybe it includes right there. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to think. Let me see. Moving. Oh, I'm tripping. Okay. The whole time I'm looking at the queen thinking that's the king. Okay. That definitely made stuff a lot easier. Okay. Okay, so the queen moving, let's say, if I move my queen right there, I think that's it. Okay. So moving my queen to d8 is the right move because it delivers, well, it delivers checkmate. Because if it tried to capture my queen right here, if the king on e8 tried to capture my queen on d8, the rook is right there to protect it. So next one, white to move. Black's queen is ready to end the game with queen to g2 checkmate. With white to move, can you find a clever move that checkmates black's king? Okay, so white to move, checkmate black king. Okay. So I honestly feel like it has to do with pawn promotion. So okay. Fantastic. White promotes into a queen and checkmates the black king just in time. And so if you guys see, can't capture because this queen is sitting right there. Can't move right here because queens do move horizontally, and it can't move right here to B6 because each queen is still able to attack it. Okay, so white to move. Both kings are in danger, but it is white to move. Can you find the winning move? All right, so let me see. It has to be closer. Nah, can't capture. Move right there. Can't move right there. Okay. Okay. Lesson complete. Oh, wait. Great job. Black's king is checkmated in the corner. Lesson complete. You ready for your next lesson? Checkmate with two rooks. All right. So once again, this is another video. So you guys know the drill. I'm going to go ahead and put myself on mute after I read this. One good way to checkmate is to use two rooks or a rook and a queen to force a lone opposing king to the edge of the board. If one rook defends an entire file, then the opposing king can't cross it. If you use the other rook to control the next file, you can force the king to the edge of one. If you use the other rook to control the next file, you can force the king on the edge one step at a time until you checkmate it. Picture a position with white rooks on g1 and h2 and a black king on h5 in checkmate. This may also works by forcing the king to the first or last rank. All right, so let's go ahead and watch this video.
It's very rare to checkmate with just one piece. It usually requires several pieces to surround and finally checkmate the king. One of the most important examples of this is checkmating with two rooks, sometimes called the rook roller. Let's see how this works. In this position, notice the rook on c2 controls the entire c file. This means that the black king cannot enter the c file as long as the rook is on that file. Rook d1 checks the king on the d file, and since the king can't enter the c file, black's king is forced to move closer to the edge of the board. Now that the d file is covered by the rook on d1, let's use the other rook to check the king on the e file. Rook e2 check. Notice that the rooks take turns checking the king, cutting the black king off one file at a time. Let's watch the rook rollers roll the king up onto the edge of the board and deliver checkmate. After king f7, we bring the other rook to the f file, checking the king. The king moves to the g file. Now that the f file is covered, we play rook to g2 check. The king is forced to the edge of the board and has run out of files. It's checkmate on the next move with rook h1, checkmate. The rook roller doesn't only work on files, it also works on ranks. Notice the rook on h4 covers the entire fourth rank. So in this case, we use the other rook to check the king on the fifth rank. And since the fourth rank and fifth rank are now covered by the rooks, the king gets rolled up the board again. King c6, rook h6 check, king to d7, rook to g7 check, and after king e8, rook h8, checkmate. Now that you've learned how to checkmate with two rooks against the king, it's your turn to practice checkmating with the rook rollers.
Okay, so as you guys seen, that is checkmating. Oh, sorry, let me go ahead and add myself back to the screen. Give me 1 second. Okay, so that is checkmate with two rooks. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into these challenges. Okay, so white rook, or white to move. Use the rook roller to checkmate black. Okay, so first one, I would assume would just be the move right there. So okay, great job. Black is checkmated. Honestly, y'all, someone has checkmated me like this before, and I swear to you, it is the most irritating thing. Because like I don't know. I'm kind of cocky when I play chess, even though I'm not the best chess player, so I need to stop being cocky. But like if you're gonna checkmate me with like, I don't know, a higher piece. Like getting checkmated by a rook is like, dang man. I don't know, that's tough. But okay. So excellent. Black is checkmated. Um My computer is getting ready to die, so I'm not gonna leave right now, but pretty soon I am gonna have to get up and go get my charger. Um, can you force Black's king to the back rank on your next move? Back rank. How can you force Black's king to the back rank? I mean, why would you want it to go to the back rank? I don't. Yeah, that's not what it's asking. Nice try, but this is not. How is you trying to force it? What, like this? I'm gonna try one more time, y'all, and then after that, oh, never mind. I see. Okay, the rook roller is in action. Black's king is forced to the back rank. Can you find the move that ends the game immediately? Um, all right. Let's see here. Great job, Black is checkmated. Okay, white to move. Black is ready to promote the B2 pawn into a queen on the next turn. Can you force Black's king to the back rank and save the game with the rook roller checkmate? Okay, so first step is to force it to the back. Oh, dang. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Excellent move. Black's king is forced to the back rank. Can you finish the game on the next move? Pretty sure it says right there. Okay, excellent. The black king is checkmated. Okay, white to move. White king is under attack by the black queen and rook, but white's rooks can force black's king into the corner. Can you find the move? Okay. Let's see. White king is under attack by the black queen and rook. White king. Sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. Is under attack by the black queen and rook. But white's rooks can force the black. Okay. So we're trying to force them into the corner. Into the corner. I get what it's asking me, but I don't think that's right. Yeah, okay. Nice try, but this is not forcing it into the corner. Let's see. Okay, because if I move right there, this is hard a little bit. Okay, if I move right there, but it's not in immediate danger. Let me go ahead and use this hand real quick. White's rook on the C file is cutting the black king off from the rest of the board. Use the other rook to force black's king into the corner. That didn't help very much. I don't think this is right either. Oh, it is? Oh, okay. Sorry, y'all. It's right because if it's already on the B file, then it can't move obviously to the right because the C file is being protected by the rook. Okay, so fantastic. Black's king is forced into the corner. Can you find the winning move for whites? I would assume it's moving right there. Okay. You did it. Black's king is checkmated just in time. You're ready for your next lesson, checkmate with the queen. Okay, so like I said, oh, okay, cool. So I do have to go get my charger and I'm gonna get it while you guys are watching this video. So I won't be, interrupting our time together. So checkmate with the queen. To checkmate with king and queen against king, follow a wait. I don't know. To me, that just didn't sound right. To checkmate with king and queen against king, follow a process. 1, place your queen on 1 knight move away from the opposing king. 2, copy each king move with your queen to stay 1 knight move away. 3, when the king reaches the edge, move the queen to the second rank or file to keep the king stuck there. Give the king at least 2 squares to move so that there is no stalemate. 4, bring your king close to setup and assisted mate. Sorry, let me read that again. Bring your king close to setup and assisted mate. Anyway. Okay, so let me go ahead and play this video. And like I said, I will be going to get my charger. So I'll be right back. Once the video is, well, I'll be back before the video is over, but you guys won't see me until the video is over. So
Even the powerful queen cannot checkmate the king all by itself. Many times you will find yourself with just your king and queen against the other king, and you need to know how to finish the job. It can be pretty frustrating unless you know what you're doing. Let's see how it works. In this position, we can use an assisted checkmate idea to win the game in just one move. Notice that the white king and queen both meet on the G7 square, right next to the black king. The queen can move to that square, checking the black king, and since the white queen is protected by its own king, the game is checkmate. Delivering a checkmate in the corner of the board is nice, but how do we force the king to the corner and set up checkmate? Let's take a look. In this position, black's king is on the central square D5. In order to checkmate the king, it must be forced to the edge of the board. Notice that the black king can move to any of the other central squares on the next turn, D4, E4, or E5. White's first goal is to prevent the king from staying in the center of the board and pushing it toward the corners. Queen to E3 prevents the king from staying in the center, so the king must move toward the corners. After king D6, white's next job is to prevent the black king from returning to the center. Queen to E4. Notice the queen is keeping the king out of the center, and it's slowly pushing the black king toward the corner. You'll also see that white's queen is always one knight move distance away from the black king. We'll see the white queen continue to shadow the king a knight's distance away for the rest of the game. Black plays king C5, still trying to stay near the center, and white plays queen D3. After king C6, queen D4. Notice black moves up a square, white's queen moves up a square. The black king moves down a diagonal square, the queen moves down a diagonal square. The king moves up, the queen moves up. Notice always a knight's distance away. After king A7, the king goes up a diagonal square, the white queen goes up a diagonal square as well. Now comes the most important part of this position. After king A8, should the white queen continue to shadow the king a knight's distance away? If queen B6 is played, the black king does not have a legal square, but it is also not check. Do you remember what we call that when that happens? That's right, stalemate. It's a draw. So be sure to avoid that move. In this position, once you get the king into the corner, allow it to continue to dance on these two squares, back and forth, until your white king is able to set up an assisted checkmate. Let's see how that works. After king C2, king A7, king C3, king A8, king C4, king A7, king C5, king A8, king C6, king A7. Now that white's king is close to the queen, can you find an assisted checkmate in this position? That's right. Queen to B7, checkmate. The white king assists the queen in delivering the checkmate to the king. Now that you've learned how to checkmate with the queen versus king, it's your turn to practice checkmating the king.
okay, so like I said, I will be back right after the video played, and so I do have my charger. And so now we're gonna get into these challenges. But before I do that, like, do y'all like watching these videos and stuff like that, or would y'all prefer something different? Because this is about you guys, and so yeah, we are learning together. But I still want to do something that is fun for everybody, not just me. So if you guys do like this, let me know. Like, give me feedback and stuff, you guys. Anyway, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into these. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I completely forgot to put my screen back up. Okay, I don't know why I went to y'all. Not like that, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so white to move. Can you find an immediate checkmate? Great job. The queen with the protection of the king checkmates black. And if you guys remember, two kings aren't able to stand next to each other based on the rules of chess. Therefore, that's why, it wasn't able to attack her or whatever. Can white deliver checkmate immediately, or should white play knight to g6 to prepare checkmate? Or king, sorry, king to g6. Um, sorry, y'all. Based, well, I mean, they can checkmate immediately. Black is checkmated. Excellent job, Black is checkmated. Okay, white to move. Black's king is cornered. Can you find a move for white that sets up checkmate on the following turn? Can you find a move for white that sets up checkmate on the following turn? Okay, so based on what we've been seeing with the kings, they should be at least one square apart so that the queen can come and finalize the checkmate. So I think it would be moving right here. Okay, and then I can come right. Oh, this move allows checkmate on the next turn, but you can checkmate immediately. Would it be right here? Okay, hold on. Let me finish reading this real quick. Okay, so great job. The white king prepares to help the queen deliver checkmate on the next turn. Can you find the checkmate? This move allows checkmate on the next turn, but you can checkmate immediately. You try again. This move does not checkmate. The black king, try again. Okay, so I move to g6 into h6. g6 is right there, h6. I mean, okay. And so that is excellent. Black is checkmated. How can you cut off the black king and force it to move to the a8 corner square? A8. I'm gonna assume that this is supposed to be in one move. Hmm. I'm thinking of moving directly to d8. However, something is telling me that that's not necessarily right. Yeah, that wouldn't be right anyway, because even still moving to a8, that's just still in check. So no. Now I'm thinking of moving to d6. Because but then okay, so if I'm right here, let me see. I don't think that's right. Yeah, this move does not force. Okay. Mm, um. All right, let's do a hint. Move the queen to the 7th rank, where it will force the black queen or king to the A. Okay, so the 7th rank is right here. Um, if it's moving straight to D7, I'm gonna be upset. Okay, whatever. Fantastic. You force the king into the corner. Where can you find the white king to? Where can you move the white king to prepare checkmate? Um, Once again, they have to be close, or closer. Um, okay. Let me read these last two. Great job. Can you deliver checkmate with the queen to a square that is protected by the white king? Excellent. Black is checkmated. Okay, last one. White to move. Can you find an immediate checkmate? Um, I feel like it's moving to A2, but nah. Um, oh my gosh. Okay. Let me see. If I move to like, oh no, that's okay. Can you find an immediate checkmate? Um, sorry. Yeah. Let me see. If I move. Okay, let me do a hint because I'm a little stuck. Move the queen to a square that immediately checkmates the black. That wow, the queen. I mean, the hint definitely helped. Um. Okay, I'm gonna just right. So, okay, checkmate. We're just gonna go ahead and go with the solution. Oh, okay. Okay, so moving to H8 is the move because it can't move anywhere on the seventh rank because it would be next to the king at that point. So you're ready for your next lesson, checkmate with the rook. All right, let me go ahead and put myself on mute. Oh, this is a long video. All right, well, let's get started. Let me see.
As you've already learned, checkmate with 2 rooks is pretty easy, and checkmating with just 1 queen is simple too, once you know how to do it. Another common checkmate comes from king plus rook versus king. In this position, you don't have the power of the queen, and instead have to use some patience to get the job done. Let's see how to do it. The first thing the rook needs to do is put the king into a box. After rook h4, notice the black king is within this box, and white's goal is to never allow the black king to escape from this box. Black's king gets closer to the rook, and white's rook, unlike the queen, will need help from the king to push the black king into the corner and deliver checkmate. The reason why is the rook cannot move diagonally, so the lone king can sneak up and attack the rook from a diagonal. This means white needs to bring the king closer to the rook and protect it, like this. After king g5, black threatens to win white's rook, and white's king arrives just in time to protect the rook. White begins the slow but effective plan of pushing black's king back into a corner in order to deliver checkmate. After every move, the side with the rook has to ask, can my rook safely shrink the box? If the answer is yes, then move the rook. If the answer is no, then move the king closer to the opponent's king. In this position, can white's rook safely shrink the box? Yes, it can, with rook g4. How about now? Can white shrink the box again? If you said rook f4, you're correct. White shrinks the box once again. After king d5, can white shrink the box? Well, not safely, because after rook e4, the king would just take the rook. Also notice if the rook moves to f5, the king is able to run outside of the box. So remember, when you can't shrink the box, move your king closer to the opponent's king, like this. After king e5, can white shrink the box now? Notice if rook e4 check, the black king is able to move outside of the box. Remember, in a rook and king versus king position, only check the king with the rook when it is checkmate. Otherwise, bring your king closer to the opponent's king. White brings the king closer to the other king, and after king d5, can white shrink the box? You bet. Rook e4. So slowly but surely, white is making progress. After king d6, white cannot shrink the box safely, so white brings the king closer to the opponent's king. After king c6, can white shrink the box? Absolutely. Rook e5. After king d6, black decides to give white some trouble. In this position, I can't shrink the box as white, because if we play rook to d5 check, the king escapes. But also, how do I move the king closer to the opponent's king? I can't. So what do we do here? In this position, we just need to move our king somewhere to protect our rook. And in fact, there's only one square to do it. King e4. After king c6, can white shrink the box now? Absolutely. Rook to d5. And notice, white's making some real progress now. After king c7, white brings the king closer to the opponent's king. And after king c6, white continues to bring the king closer. After king c7, can white shrink the box now? Absolutely. Rook to d6. And after king to b7, white plays king to d7, getting closer to the opponent's king. After king b8, can white shrink the box? Yes, after rook c6. White's getting really close to pushing that king into the corner. After king b7, here we are again. White cannot shrink the box, but we also can't move the king closer to the opponent's king. What to do? When this happens, it's simple. Just protect your rook and make black move. Black moves to b8, and can you shrink the box now with the rook? Absolutely. Rook to c7. And after king to a8, white brings the king closer to the opponent's king. King b8. White moves the king closer again. And now, after king a8, the king is finally in the corner, and white is ready to deliver a checkmate. Can you see which rook move will deliver checkmate? If you found rook to c8, checkmate, great job. White delivers a checkmate. After learning how to checkmate with the queen and king, and now the rook and king versus king, you may expect the next videos to include checkmate with a king and one other piece. It turns out only the queen and rook can partner with the king by themselves to checkmate a lone king. All other pieces need more support to deliver a checkmate. Now that you've learned how to checkmate a king with a rook and king, it's your turn to practice the king and rook checkmate.
All right. Sorry, y'all. That was a long video. But, okay. So, let me go ahead and put myself back on the screen. Okay. So, pretty much that one was majority just knowing when to open and close the box so that you were able to deliver a checkmate using both your rook and your king. Okay. So, white to move. Black's king is trapped on the back rank. Can you find the winning move for white? Okay, so that would simply be moving right there. And that is because obviously that entire I was going to say that entire rank 8 is being protected by the rook. However, it can't move to the C rank simply because the king is right there and two kings aren't allowed to be next to each other. So, great job. Black is checkmated. All right, so white to move. Black's king is stuck on the A file. Can you find the move that wins immediately for white? If it's stuck on the A file, meaning it can't move to the B file, I'm going to place it on the A file. Excellent. Black is checkmated. Black's only legal move on the next turn is K, which is king to B8. B8 is right there. With white to move, can you find the move that prepares checkmate after black moves the king to B8? All right, so I truly believe that it'd be right here. Let me see. Black's king is trapped, but it cannot move. It's stalemate. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, I'm a little confused. Let me see. The move does not deliver check. Okay. With white to move, can you find the move that prepares checkmate after black moves? So once it moves right there, maybe moving the king. Fantastic. White's king protects all of the black's king. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. White's king protects all of the black king's escape squares on the 7th rank. Can you find the checkmate for white? Which would just be moving, right? No, I didn't mean to go right there. Hold on. Because all right. Great job. Black is checkmated. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why that took me so long. I was gonna move to B7, but I'm like, it can move diagonal in any at the top directions. So okay, white to move. White wants to force black's king to move to A8 and deliver checkmate on the next turn. A8, which is right here. How can white force the king to A8 and prepare a checkmate? Oh, I'm sorry, that's A1. A8 is up here. So how can white force the king to A8 and prepare checkmate? All right, so I feel like it would be moving right there. All right, and then obviously it can't move to the right because that C file is protected by the rook. So, okay, next thing, sorry, I'm just making sure that we don't have any comments. So then the next thing is, it says, excellent, Black's king is forced to A8. Finish the game with checkmate. All right, good work, Black is checkmated. All right, so last one. White to move. White wants to force the Black king to F8 and deliver checkmate on the next move. Can you find the rook move that forces Black to move to F8? So F8 is right there. F8. Let me see. It's either moving to the 7th rank or to like G5. Well, that's not the only two options, obviously, but that's what I'm thinking. So let's try this one. That might not be it either. Okay, so it says this move does not force Black's king to the F8 square. Try again. Then it says this move does not force. Oh, okay, it's the same thing. All right. Okay, so we're trying to get to F8, which is right there. And I can't move to the 8th rank because that would be protecting the whole thing. And I don't think that I would move the king anywhere. Let me use a hand real quick. So the hint says move the rook on the H file, which forces Black's king. Okay, so to the H file. Sorry. All right. I mean, okay, yeah. All right, my bad, y'all. I should have figured that out. Great job. Black's king is forced to F8, where White's king prevents it from moving off the back rank. Now you're ready to deliver checkmate. Okay, so it is 7:58. Let me see how long this video. Oh, okay, so the video is 3 minutes. So I'm actually, I'm not gonna, we like to be, not, I was gonna say specific. We like to be, hold on, considerate, considerate. I don't know why that took me so long. Okay, we like to be considerate of everyone's time. And with that being said, I want to make sure that we end on time. And so, like I said, sorry about missing last Friday. We did kind of have communication issues with our guest, but she will be back this Friday, so don't worry about it. And that's the thing too. Once again, guys, please let me know as far as what you guys want to do, as far as if you guys would like 2 videos on Fridays. So that can be 7. Well, technically first 4:30 to 5:30, and then 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Let me know which works. Well, not well. I guess works best for you guys because, like I said, this is for you guys as well. So let me know what you guys prefer, what you guys like. Even these, like the lessons, I personally like them because it helps you. It makes you think more about certain stuff, and then I like the videos. But I know that they can be kind of lengthy at times and different things like that. So if you guys aren't really feeling them, let me know, and I'll implement something else into our weekly. Well, it's more than weekly. Our episodes together and stuff like that, because I do want you guys to be entertained, and things like that. So, and with that being said, with us having special guests, don't be afraid or hesitant or anything like that to reach out to me, and just tune in with us, or if you guys want to play with me, if you guys want to play with me, send me an invite, let me know. If you guys want to have a one-on-one, anything like that, let me know, and I promise you I'm 100% open to that. So yeah, but it is now 8 o'clock, and I just want to say thank you guys so very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys on Friday at 4:30 p.m. once again with our special guest. So I think that's about it. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Well, a good week, I guess, because it did just start. And I will see you all on Friday. Thank you again. Bye.